Let's
We're
see
in.
what
Yep.
it should be doing it.
We're in. We are. We're good. Hi.
Hello, everyone, and
Hello.
welcome to the Magic Hour with Stephanie Siren and Anna Stone.
Hello.
And we're here tonight, Anna. What are we talking about tonight?
So last time we were on, we talked about casting spells. Well, I don't remember who asked, but somebody asked how to cast spells. How do we do it? So we're going to talk about casting spells and different types of magic workings that we can, different types of traditions of magic and like what that entails, I guess. Right,
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
and tomorrow's the 11/11 portal.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that because we're going to have a little bit of a portal from 11/11 to 11/13.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a new moon in Scorpio coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And a balsamic moon tomorrow night, right? Yes. So,
right.
yeah. So good time to get rid of people in your life. Great time for cord cuttings.
Yeah. Oh, that's very true. And anytime hi, Laurel. Anytime we deal with Scorpio, like the moon in Scorpio, then we're dealing with the death card, right? In the tarot.
Yes.
That's the Scorpio.
Yes. Good evening, Laurel. Yeah, Scorpios.
So
My bad.
it's like,
you know,
a death, a change. So if you want something like really like intense manifestation wise, what you're going to want to go for is this new moon. Like, and I think it's a really great one for career expansion.
Oh, yeah.
Love life expansion.
Right.
Just any expansion, really, as long as you're
ready. But be ready for something to leave you at the same time, because the Scorpio energy brings in that death, that transformation. So it will take, like, if your relationship ain't working, if you're like trying to do something like for some love abundance or something like that, and it's not gonna, and it's not good for you in this situation you're in currently, you better be ready for that situation to take a hike. Because, yeah. So, it sometimes the Scorpio energy, I think, makes it look like your life's falling apart, but in reality, it's actually bringing the new beginning for you that you need. It's very brutal about how it goes about it, right?
Right. It's definitely brutal. There's no like blanket there. It's all sword for sure.
Yeah, it is absolutely all sword and tongue, like lashing, like horrible things said, horrible things done. Like, yeah, it's going to be drama. It's going to be high drama. But at the end of the day, at the end though, it will be great. It's just the process will be very messy. I think that's my experience anyhow.
For sure. I think anytime we have a death and rebirth cycle, it's messy. And we don't even realize how messy it can get,
Right. Yeah.
It's just like the key, right, is to know how to kind of ride that and continue your delulu, right? so that your rituals and your magic is potent enough, because it's your belief in it that really gives it the juice.
It is. So let's talk about that. So when we're talking about casting spells, like, first of all, I rarely do this. I don't do magic like this. I do ritual magic, which is not the same thing as what we're talking about here, right? Okay, let's make sure that that's understood. So ritual ceremonial magic is not the same as spell casting. Spell casting is when you have specific thing that you want, and it's usually, I mean, it's going to be money, most of the time, money, love, whatever, okay? Although I am against love spells of any type. Very bad for you, although I've done them and they work, and that's the problem. That's the problem. So,
and you don't any of our friends who are witches who are watching right now, we all know that we all do it, and we're all guilty of it. Yeah. Better than anybody else. We've all done it. And I recently did one, so I can't say,
but I just say with caution. I say I said that the wording and the intention is very super important. And all magic, like, that is the case.
I think there's another key to it too, Anna.
What's that?
I think that, our ability as psychics to feel if it's right for them is big. And I think also us, what we're doing is we're summoning, right? We're collapsing time. We're creating a wormhole of time not existing. Like, okay, you want your person I can make them come to you now
Right.
instead of later.
Okay, that kind of spells different. Like, so I was meaning targeting somebody. Like, I meant a person that you had in mind.
We do that too. I mean,
Okay,
I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm
right,
saying
right.
the ones
Because
that we do professionally
yeah.
are definitely not like that. Like, we're not enchanting somebody for you. Cause I mean, there are people that do that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
they're,
Yeah.
and I have done it before.
I have done. I have to. I have to. I warn though, because it's like an energy. There's this energy exchange that occurs. So if you're asking somebody, especially if it's a breakup, and you want that person back, and you go to a practitioner and you say, "I want this left spell. I want this person back." The thing that you don't get is that there's an energy balance that has to happen. So if you're madly in love with this person and they don't want you anymore, and you ask for that to change, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to love them anymore, and they're going to be all about you. And now you can't get rid of them. And like that happens all the time. And no one listens to me. They'll do it anyway. And I'm like, well, I told you. Like, I don't know what else to say. I've experienced it twice myself personally because I was dumb and a kid, I was 14, and then I did it again as an adult. But like, yeah, no good. But when we talk about spellcasting, we're talking about, a ritual process that is signaling to the powers that be that you want something and you pay a price for it, right? You are giving up something in order to get something. So, you have to decide on what that is. So I think the first step of Magick would be, first of all, what do you want? What are you looking for? So that's the first, right? 70, like, of course you have to have it. Like, it's really bad to just, I mean, I don't know how else you do it, honestly, I guess. But
well, you know what? I'll walk you through my last one and kind of explain it. So I did come to me spell the last new moon that we had, and I did it for a dear friend, and it was a combination of things that I had gathered to make the spell potent enough.
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's what I mean. So like when the first thing is we identify the goal. It's like the scientific process, right? Scientific method. It's like first we make an observation. And then we think, how can we improve on this? And then, we run experiments, right? So it's kind of the same, if you want to look in that vein. But like, so the items themselves, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about a lot, because I'm trying to figure out, like, I couldn't find anything in like literature that in the brief amount of time I had to do some research prior to this episode airing. I was wondering, like, the idea that we use certain herbs and stones or potions, whatever, that kind of stuff, like, where none of those inherently themselves have any power in any way, shape, or form. Those are inert things. Where the power comes from is from us charging that with our own energy, right? But where does this understanding come from of what to use? Because there are some spells that just universally, like, we know that we're supposed to use certain things. Where does that come from? Do you know?
Shamanic traditions.
Shamanic traditions. Oh, shamanic traditions. Okay. Yeah.
Of the spirit of each plant. The belief that everything has a spirit. And so
right. Got it. Okay. That's a good thing. I didn't look in the shaman. I did not look there. I should have looked there. That is a very, yes. Thank you for, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. I forgot that. So that makes way more sense now. All right. So yes. So, and this is the other thing. I think that young or apprentice, I won't use the term baby, apprentice, which should always be willing to research things. Like, you should be willing to read some books. And I don't care if they're online or not.
Attend some classes, even if they're online classes.
Yep.
I mean, I have been in every kind of class you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just to absorb the knowledge and also compare to what I've learned elsewhere. And I have like a habit that I do, that any class I take it at least twice, and I take it from 2 different teachers so that I get a bigger perspective on the subject.
Right. I mean, I think that that's really important because a lot of us are, some of us are, especially now with our lack of community and like togetherness, are going to be by ourselves and doing this at home online. And it just because it's online doesn't make it any less effective, right? Like, you can still learn from people that are teaching. But I think that's a really good point. You should take it from more than one person because everyone has their own bias, right? We all do. It's the thing. And so we got to make sure that we're getting the right info. Like, it's because if you get the wrong teacher, it can really mess things up for you. So you
Yes, and there's different teaching styles.
right,
So one might mesh with the way that you learn more than another.
right,
But you might also get a lot more valuable information from the one that still doesn't mesh with you. So you want to attend both.
right. You should be open to, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And
Sometimes our
that's
best teachers are the worst ones, like that we don't like right off the bat, like for some reason.
right. Like that's why I got a double Reiki master's, because I wanted to learn all I could about the subject
Right.
in different perspectives.
Right. So what about the time that okay, so let's say I'm gonna do a I don't know, like any kind, let's say I have a partner who has some kind of drug or alcohol addiction or something like that, right? And I want them to get better. Okay. First of all, what is your opinion about doing a spell on somebody that you're close with without their permission, without their knowledge? What do you say about that?
I am not for it. I don't do it unless it's a protection spell.
Right.
Um, I refuse because I feel like it impedes on their free will,
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
and it also impedes on their lessons.
That is such a good, that was my point. That was the point. Yeah. Is that it might be very, you know, like tempting for especially newer practitioners to think that they can solve all of their interpersonal problems with work and boyfriend, girlfriends, whatever, this way. But doing so is actually potentially be harmful to the person that you're trying to help. For that reason, Stephanie just said exactly, is that some of us many of us, when we have problems like that, like drugs or alcohol or gambling or whatever it is, we have that problem because there's some lesson that we signed, like we want to learn, we ask for anyways, like, and now we're here doing it. And if somebody intervenes on our behalf without our knowledge, that can totally mess that up, right? Like that could like take away from what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. And it also, it creates an issue because then you're taking on somebody else's issue and they need to handle it themselves. And addiction is always because the person is looking for comfort, because
Yeah.
there's a very uncomfortable set of emotions or trauma that they're going to have to confront.
Right.
And
Right.
we can't do that for each other. We have to do that ourselves. It's a very self healing journey.
Well, yeah, everybody knows. I mean, like this is just an example, like, but like, for addiction, especially, like, that when you're forced to go to detox or rehab, it never works. It like temporarily does. It's not until the person wants to do it, right? So,
Right.
and even then, it could be a few times of trying. But we get an idea in our head what we want to do, what we need, what we want, and then we decide when we're going to do it, right? Like we need to decide when. So there's times that are good idea to do something, and then there's times it's not such a good idea, and we base that usually around like the moon. But I don't think that there's really not a good time. I think that if it's urgent, you can do it if you need to, right? Like I don't like
For
I
sure.
think your belief that is what matters, right?
I look at the days of the week that this is just my practice and it's kind of eclectic neo-pagan.
Mhm.
And I look at the days of the week first to see their meanings because each day of the week is named after a different deity and
Yep.
all of that.
Yep.
And each day of the week also represents a different planet.
Right.
It has all these different elements and things that coincide with it. So you want to choose the one that represents what you're working with, right?
If you have time, like if you can plan it out, right? It's not like an urgent like protection spell or something like that. Like yes,
Right. Like this is for like a lunar calendar type spell casting thing.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do is want to look at the day and the time and when the moon is this way, what day of the week, all of these things.
Right. Like you don't want to do like an abundance spell during a waning moon, like
Right.
because
No, you don't. That's for waxing only. So
right.
what waxing would be is, after your new moon, which is you can't see the moon at all, which is a very powerful manifestation moon, then you move into a waxing moon. So it's building up.
Right. And that's what you want to do. Hi Denise. Nice to have you here. Nice that you
Hi,
thought
Denise.
yeah. I mean, so full moon's good for any type of magic. right? Like it amplifies, right? But then the new moon, yeah, any kind you want. That's your free for all, I guess. There, your bonanza, your spell bonanza thing.
Your spell bonanza.
Yeah, but then like waning, you want to stay away from anything. If you're trying to grow something, if you're trying to increase something, that's not a good time. It's just not. It's going to counteract it.
Letting go.
Yeah, it's for letting go, right?
Especially like if you want to let go of something big, I would start at the full moon, and then set your intention at the full moon, and then while you have a waning moon, focus on letting go of that thing, and by the next new moon, it's gone.
Right. Yeah. And like yeah, so you pick your day, your time that you're going to do it, right? And then now we have ingredients or like supplies, right? So, I always have, like, for me personally, I always have, no matter what I'm doing, I always have a white candle and a black candle on my altar. Like always, the black is to absorb any negative stuff, and the white is to just represent that my intentions are, on the up and up. Like, so because unless because all the time my intentions are on the up and up, whether they're negative or not. So I know that I'm not like trying to deceive myself. Don't do that. Like, don't like, that would be also very foolish to like try to like deceive. Like you can't lie to yourself. So unless you're truly sociopathic, you can't really lie to yourself. So there's no point. And so you should always have like be believing in what the hell you're doing, right? Like,
personally, I have red candles always on my altar. That's just my signature thing that I like to do. I practice a lot of high magic, and Order of the Golden Dawn kind of stuff, Aleister Crowley. So I have red candles for power.
Right. Red is a power color. Absolutely. Like,
definitely.
But you can substitute white for anything at all. Like, so if you can't get candles, like, and you don't need fancy candles. Like, you can literally buy, like, I have a case of them that I get off Amazon. And let me just say this. So a lot of times, like in movies and stuff, you'll see them lighting these gigantic candles, right? No. Like, I don't have time to sit there and watch that shit burn. Like, are you kidding me? Like, because you're supposed to let it burn down to its completion and not interfere with it, right? To complete the spell. Like, so why would I want a giant taper candle? Like, I'm gonna have to, like, I mean, I can do those if it's a multi-day spell, right? If it's a multiple day spell, absolutely. But if it's supposed to be just like you want something quick and efficient, I just get those little chime candles, the one that you put like in a Hanukkah thing. Yeah, and they're like $12, like a case of them. Like, so it's super cheap.
Yeah, those are great. I think I take it a little bit more literal. And I do the big taper candles.
Oh, I do too. I just
and I do it because I want the effect of a long burn. And also when I dress my candles, I don't know how many of you dress your candles.
I do. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Burn faster when they're dressed because they're dressed in oils and honeys and all these things.
The honey is highly flammable. Let me tell you. It's very flammable. So honey is definitely, your candle's going to be outrageous if you roll it in honey. So dressing your candle. So like you get you know what you're doing. You're gonna do whatever spell, name a spell here or whatever. Right. And like, you dress your candles, and that is like, I carve into mine. I carve what my intentions are with my knife, my ritual knife. And like, I then roll it in herbs and powders and oils and honey or whatever the hell I feel is going to help, amplify it, right? And then you got to be really careful with that, because stuff does pop off of it, and you've got to make sure you got like a nice fireproof like bowl or something that you're keeping.
Oh, I've had an altar catch on fire many a time.
I did, yeah, very recently. I could not. Oh my God. Yeah, I do remember that. Like, I was like, holy shit, that's the first time it's ever happened. I was so dumb. Yeah, really bad. Don't do that, guys. Don't leave it unattended. And if you have to put it out because you have kids or cats or pets or whatever, like, you can put it out, just snuff it out, like, or that. Yeah, or like that. Yeah. People say don't blow it out, but like, I don't know.
Blow it out.
Yeah. Like, it's, yeah, because then it's like pushing it off, right? Like, you're pushing it
away. It's like, okay, I don't need it.
Right. So now, like, the spell words, though, this is the one I think when people ask us, how do you cast spells? Like, this is the part where people don't know how to do it. So, how do we do that, Stephanie? Like, where do you, when I first started, it started for me out of books that I got at the library. But I never, ever once, not even back when I was a teenager or a tween at 12 or whatever, I never just did them exactly how they were written. I always did something that incorporated my own twist on it.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about that because that is the most important thing of spell casting is that we listen to our ancestors, because cell memory is a thing, and you are your own ancestor, and your ancestors live on inside you as well.
Right.
And our ancestors practiced all kinds of folk magic and spell casting of their own. And so if you get quiet enough, you can hear your ancestors tell you what to put on the altar.
Right.
And that is my practice, is I listen, and I even get to a point after meditation and breathing where I let the ancestors kind of take over my body, and I intuitively grab the herbs and the oils that they want me to grab and use. I intuitively grab the shells or the sage or the crystals that they tell me to use, or the elements or the waters or the oils, just all of the things that we put on our altar that are different elements. And I think it's important to also say that we make sure we incorporate something to represent each of the elements on our altars.
That's right. That's just static always on my altar, like always just there. But like question about circle casting, right? Like, so do you cast a circle every time you cast a spell?
I not every single time, no.
No, me neither. But you should if you're new. You should if you're new, maybe that might be a good idea.
Okay, so circle casting is definitely to represent to everyone that you're going into the liminal. It's to represent and show you, okay, once we're in the circle, we're in the liminal space. We are in between worlds. We are both.
Right.
And that's what we do when we spell cast. We aren't on just the earth. We're at both. We're bringing both together, as above, so below, coming together.
Right. And also doesn't that, like, I mean, the idea is that it's a protective circle so that things can't get at you.
Right.
Like,
so
I know
I've already included while you're doing the work, while you're liminal.
Right. I stopped a while back. I don't know how long ago, probably decades, but because I already know that I'm okay still. But if you're not sure and you're scared in any way, shape, or form, or you have fear any way, shape, or form, it's always a good idea to do that, because the fear alone will, like that can actually hinder your progress in the spell, and also maybe bring some negative stuff to you. So, like, I don't know, but like, when we're doing the words, though, where do we get the words? Where do you get your words from? Like, and why are they rhyming? How come all of the books have rhyming? Like, sounds like nursery rhymes.
Okay. I take mine from several places.
Mm-hmm.
My words come sometimes from song, sometimes from poetry. Poetry maybe that I've written for the spell.
Mm-hmm.
That is about my intent for the thing. I also find certain prayers for different deities, or for different religions, or just that different people have. It just depends on the spell.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but like, the best way to do a spell is to write it yourself, like, hands down. Like, yes, I will still, to this day, if I'm doing something that I'm not super familiar with, I will still look online for other people that have done it and look at how they did it. But like, I don't use theirs. I never use other people's.
We don't verbatim unless it's like ceremonial magic.
That is, exactly. Right. Ceremonial is different. Right. But like, for actual, like, intentional magic where you're trying to get something to happen for you, it's going to be the best bet for you to just write your own. And like, I think that people are scared that, like, if they don't say it exactly the way that they've seen it, it won't work. But like, the opposite is true. If you say it exactly the way you've seen it before, like in a movie or in a book or something, I feel like that is generic. It's generic. It's not you. You're taking someone else's word. So like, it will work, I guess, to an extent, but like, it's going to be better and faster, I think, if you do it
it's
yourself.
the other person's intent then that you're
Exactly.
presenting instead of your own intent.
Right.
And it needs to be your own intent from your gut, you
I
know?
feel like, I feel like you should treat it like you did in school with plagiarism. It's like,
Yes.
you know, like
Yes.
you can take sources from other people, but that's their intellectual property, literally. Like, and
Mhm.
therefore you don't want to steal it because you don't know what they were thinking at the time when they wrote that, right? So, and words have power. We know this. Like, we are aware. I mean, just recently, there was that discovery about like how the color blue didn't exist until we had a word for it. Like,
Right.
that's crazy to me. Like that, just wrap your head around that for a second. Like, the water was here, right? Water was on Earth, right? Yeah, it sure was. It was blue, right? It's always been
Yeah.
blue, right? But no one saw blue until there was a word for it. So, like, what? Like, I mean, the words are very powerful. So, that's why they matter. And when they come from you and it has your like attachment of like your emotional attachment, that's why they are better than just reciting something you memorized from someone else's book, right? Like,
Right.
yeah. So,
Right. Like we can get fundamentals from books, like what does this crystal stand for, or what does this herb stand for, or this oil, or this powder. You know, those
right,
are traditional tools that we need to have knowledge about. Those are basics. Like what is, you know, an athame for on
right,
the altar? Well, it's a ceremonial knife. Well, why do you have it? Okay, well, for those of us who use blood in our blood magic, we want to prick our finger
right.
or we want to cut something on the altar. You don't know what we're cutting. Like it could be an herb, it could be anything.
There's also a phallic symbol too for the divine masculine, and like just like the chalice or the censer or a bowl that you burn things in, or a cauldron is the divine feminine representing the
Yeah.
womb. So like there's that, you know, like there's all kinds of and that those symbolic things should be on your altar. But if you don't have everything, you can still do work. It's I mean, it took years for me to collect everything that I have on my altar now. Like, and your altar, mine's a permanent fixture in my house. Permanent, it's always there. Anyone that comes over sees it. Don't touch it though. But like anyone that comes over can see it. And all of my supplies are within it because it's an apothecary. It's an old apothecary cabinet that has a lot of little drawers, right? And it's beautiful. I'm so proud of it. But so when you're doing your spell work, do you have a question? Oh,
I was looking at this right here by
oh
Denise.
yeah,
I searched everywhere for a spell about a dog, found nothing. Denise,
right.
can you tell us more if you're still watching? I want to hear what you're talking about. I want to know, like,
Like
were you
you're
talking
looking
about
for
your dog or what?
about a dog. Like, did you want to find it? Like, or was it lost? What?
Yeah, tell us more. We want to know.
Yeah, because I would just look for,
Because, like, there are like lost and found spells
yeah,
that work.
exactly. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know what kind of spell you're talking about though. And there's a lot of sites that are good. That there's one site that's, I think it's spells.com or .net maybe. I don't know, it's old. It's an HTML site still, but it has people just upload their spells that they've done.
She said, "Thank you." Oh, so that helped. Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. I mean, we're gonna do readings, right, tonight? Like, oh my god, I'm
Oh
freezing.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I have to get off of here at that time. But like, so when you're done with the spell, what do you do? How do you close it out? What do you say?
So usually I say exactly what I want and I get very, very, very specific.
Super important.
It's very important because you don't want to be generalized about anything, especially in magic. Because
Nope.
generalizations leave things open for interpretation.
And the universe does not interpret things in our favor ever, barely. Like, it's very, very seldom does that
Right?
happen. You're lucky if that does. Yeah. Like,
And
yes.
so yeah, so you got to get real specific. That helps because that's how you know your spells are working. When you
Right.
get specific.
Yeah, you have to be, because it's like you need to be, and when we say specific, we mean specific. Like, if I said like if I did like a bring me my person spell, right? Okay. And then I
Right.
like wrote down everything that I want and I partner, okay? And then like
Right.
but I didn't put where they live, like close to me, lives near me. Guess what? The person I'm gonna meet is gonna live in freaking like England or something, and like far away, and I won't be able to have some kind of long distance thing going on. And it's like that's so that's so like totally inaccurate representation of like what will happen. I'm serious. Like this kind of thing happens all the time. We leave out one small detail.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. You should not rush it. You should not rush your spell writing process. It should be like you need to make sure you thought about all of those things. And it's like, and it will take a lot of times. It's going to take you messing up for you to figure it out.
Well, and also do it when you're inspired.
Yeah.
Because you need to be inspired about this thing. And I also tell my clients who ask me about this, I'm like, okay, so here's the other thing you need to do. Make a Pinterest board for the thing that you're trying to manifest. Make a playlist of music that inspires you about the thing.
Yep. I have music I listen to when I do any kind of magic. I have a playlist that's on my YouTube Music. And it's like that, and they're not like it's any songs that like just I feel like empowered by, I guess, you know, like give me that kind of like goosebumps effect, whatever. Or just, you know, music's really powerful, drumming's really powerful, like anything that gets you kind of into that like alpha state in your mind of that zone, you know, like athletes, musicians, they all get in the zone when they're doing their thing. So we've got to be there too. We got to be there too. Yeah.
We do. We turn on music. I mean, okay, so we've ritualed together and we've spellcast together.
Yep.
And
it works immediately.
It does. It works.
Yeah.
And but we listen to music to get ourselves, you know, to the point where we're in it. Then we also like we definitely get ourselves in that mode with food and drink and ceremonial smoking and bringing it all together. And like the mindset has to be so that it's aligned with the universe and the body together.
Right. So if you're like freaking out, like if you're, you know, like, and this is the number one thing I see with people that contact me and they want me to do a spell for them. And the number one thing I see is they're frantic. And like, I understand it because I've been there and I've done this myself too. It's like, and it's always about, these are usually about children or love. Like that's usually when people are the most frantic.
Justice issues.
Yeah, court issues. Yes.
And family issues. Yeah, for sure.
And like, so, but like the breakup ones are just like, you know, really intense. Like that, I think that is like the ones where people are just desperate and like, I get it. I've been there. And, but like you're missing out on a lot of stuff when you go forward in that mindset. And so it is, and it can cause chaos too for you. Like it's chaotic, right? So, and unless you deal in chaos magic, which is a thing, which we know well. Yeah. Like I don't think I ever had a choice. It's just
right.
But like it's, you know, that's one of those things. So you have to be very steadfast in what you want, and you have to know that it's like what you know that it's right for you. Like that's what you need. See, she legally okay.
Answered us. So
okay, cool. I got it. See, so let's put it up. Let's put up that comment. We'll put it up. So see. Okay, there we go. So she legally belongs to someone who has since left our lives, and my life especially. The physical absence of her had literally broken my heart.
Denise, I can totally help you with this one because I lost my cat who was my familiar in my divorce. And it sucked bad. And I felt like I felt the pain in my heart. Like, and that's real, you know, you feel that. And I love her. Oh, okay. So
yeah, is the person that has her like a bad like is it just that you miss the dog, or is it that the person's like an abusive dog owner, or what? Like, is there any other element to this?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and you want her to be happy and joyful. Okay, so like you could also send her life force energy, and how you would do that is to rub your hands together. And then just like think of her, and your hands will probably get warm, and you can just send her all the good vibes. And it really does work.
And animals are really in tune with this stuff. Like my cat, I used to have cats. I don't have pets anymore, but when I would do magic, they would literally, I swear, I don't know how they knew it either, because they can cross. If you do cast a circle, like the idea is that nobody's supposed to cross into that circle, but you or children or pets. Like, but my cats would sit on the outskirts of where I had drawn this imaginary circle. I swear to God, it was like they knew where it was. It was really odd. I was like, damn, they would just sit and stare and watch me. Like, okay. It's very interesting. It made me definitely a believer in the fact that they're definitely like able to see things that we can't,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But like when we close out our spells, when we're done at the end, like I always say mine is like, so it is at the end. Like, so it is. Like, I'm not saying, please, 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 please make this true. No, it is. I just did it. It
I
is.
like give it a little bit of flair. I usually do. I'm like, so mote it be,
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I'm big about it. Like
Right.
I'm a big personality about it. I'm just like, and so it is,
Right.
or so mote it be. And like the other thing that I do is I turn my back immediately.
Yeah, you gotta. So yeah, you gotta walk away from it and then like let it go. And so I see, Denise, what you're saying there. But and that is the thing. So you can't like, and that's a good point. You bring up a good point, because if the dog was not ever yours, then it can't return to you. Like that's not spell won't work that way. But the thing is, that's what happens a lot. Like people do. I get people that email me and stuff, and they want me to do a love spell, bring this person back to me. They never even talk to that person, and I'm like, how would that work? Like you don't have a connection. There's nothing for me to pull on. Like there's no, So, but in your case, if you knew the dog and you're, playing with it and stuff, that's different. But still, it's not your possession. Like even I hate saying possession, but that's how the law looks at it. So because it's a living being, but that is their property, for the sake of legal terms. But like, so yeah, like I mean, it would be if you want to see the dog, if you want to have interaction still with the dog, if that's what you're talking about, then that would be a different kind of spell.
It'd be like a summoning.
Yeah, like like a summoning, or like where you run into them randomly somewhere and like you get an opportunity to. But I don't know if that would make it harder for you or not. Maybe. So
I think it would make it harder on her personally. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, same. Like I feel like maybe the better thing would be to like look at something for bringing your own familiar into you, or like bringing your own familiar to you, and not like as a replacement, but like because you're not replacing anything because you didn't have it to begin with, but like something that you got such intense like connection with, that like that you would want that for yourself, like to have that. So maybe something like that would be better, like to help you find a familiar, help you find a companion animal that would help, with your own like feelings of loneliness or whatever it is, like, or just happiness. I'm not trying to put that on you. Like you're all lonely. I'm just saying, I
think animals also help us connect to the other side.
Yeah.
And to the earth and to our inner child, and they keep us joyful. So
they help us reparent too, like, right? So because if we had abusive childhoods and stuff and our parents sucked, which most of us do, I guess, then we get a chance to kind of transmute that by taking care of our animals or our own children. But I would definitely caution about doing either of those things for that purpose alone. Like that is probably not the best idea. But you guys, we're gonna start reading I'm gonna start doing card reading soon, like in about 2 minutes here. So we're and like post them in the chat, because I have to be somewhere after this, and I gotta drive a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who's got any psychic questions for us tonight, please put it in the chat.
No, I don't want you to feel pathetic. Denise,
no, we're animal lovers. I understand.
Yeah, totally. Like I just meant like I know like how that can feel. I just don't want it to get like a worse feeling of like, I think that that would be great for you to have your own, if you connect with animals like that, and there's one for you out there too, like that thing.
Right.
So I'm trying to make it like everyone. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, like if you guys have questions, like you want a tarot reading or just intuitive reading, put it in the chat. And
go ahead.
I just forgot about this deck. I don't know how I forgot about this deck I like so much, but I pulled it out yesterday and I was doing cards. And I just glad I refound it on my rack of cards over there. Like
I just found today at my art studio my very first tarot deck.
Oh my god, I have mine. It's so dirty and gross.
It is so old. It's from when I was 19.
Oh yeah. What kind is it?
Palladini deck.
A what?
Palladini.
Never
heard of it?
No.
It's an old one. It's very it's like very similar to the Rider-Waite.
Yeah.
with like the icons and everything. But it's Palladini, and like on the back it's got snakes in figure eights.
I seen that. Okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that deck. Mine is the Sacred Rose Tarot, and it is filthy. Like, it is like the size of those cards are so dirty. Like, I've had it since I was 12, and I don't know how I still own that. Like, there are some things in my house that I've literally had since I was literally like 12 years old, and I still have them, and I don't know how the hell I managed to keep hold of those things, especially when I like was kicked out of my house and like home. You know what I mean? I had nowhere to live. Like, how did I keep that
How
shit?
did you keep this? Yes.
I have no idea, but I have it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's see one. Let's see. Oh my God. Let's see. Hey, Linda. Let's see what that.
I say yes.
Yes. I just got. Yeah, but you're gonna be up against some shit though. It looks like you need to, like, I got strength card right off the bat. Like, you need to stay strong on your stuff. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if it's gonna be like super fast of a process or not. It's like it might take some time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I definitely agree with you on the strength thing, but it's
Yeah.
a yes.
Yeah, I do see yes also. Just be ready to put in some elbow grease.
Yeah.
What the hell did I say that for? That's so weird. Okay.
Elbow grease. It must
odd.
be pertinent, you know.
What?
It must be relevant.
I mean, yeah, then I got the Six of Swords too, so like it's gonna be turbulent, but like in the end it'll smooth out. Like it's rocky. It'll be rocky, but it'll work out. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone else got any questions in our chat? And then also, I'd like to make an announcement while we're doing this. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I just got hired on for a new position here in Fresno and Clovis area of California. And I will be the new pagan priestess at Unitarian Universal Church of Fresno. And I will be leading our Sabbats every Sabbat. So, like, that's like, you know, the first one I'll be doing is in bulk. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the Central Valley area, come California. California, Central Valley of California. I will be leading ceremony and ritual every Sabbat. So please come join me. I would love to have any local witches who are looking for community come and join me at the Unitarian Universalist Church. And I will be making announcements right before we have our ceremonies there. So it'll be for in bulk. That's February 2nd.
That's my daughter's birthday. Yeah. Yeah. So cool. Yeah, I wish I mean, because it's Lucy's birthday, I probably can't make it because it is a 200-mile drive. But like, I will be there in spirit and can you videotape? Can you stream it? Live stream it?
I'm hoping I can. I'm gonna see if we can do that. I have some media people I need to work with. We definitely have music people, drummers, bonfires that we do each time. Yeah, an altar that we dress and food for the festivities. It's a very full pagan ceremony. And
where is it? Like, where is that located?
So it's here in Fresno, California, off of Alluvial.
Oh, I don't know.
It's North Fresno.
Yeah, so that wasn't existing when I lived there. Yeah, like at all.
Right. Yeah.
That place is expanded like crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Do you see Denise's comment here? Like, look, because I don't do that.
If you're picking up on her energy, I thought y'all said a pet psychic was hopping on tonight. I absolutely love this channel. We do have a pet psychic coming, not tonight. We do have her coming. We'll announce her. She's sick tonight, so there was no way she could come tonight.
Who was it again? I forget. Like, I remember you told me, but I forgot.
Spring, she's gonna have a book coming out too. We will have her soon, and she's amazing. So when we do that, that'll be a good one. It's gonna happen closer to Yule, like closer to the holidays.
Right on. That's cool. Yeah, so Denise, come back for that one. You know, you gotta
yes,
come back.
please.
Yeah,
you'll love it. Yes. So yeah, so here in Fresno, California, we're having that happening, and Also, let's see. Tomorrow we have Ren Fair happening here in Fresno too. So
Renaissance Fair?
Renaissance Fair, yep.
Oh man, I could have worn my costume again for Halloween. Oh yeah, like Halloween was so fun. I loved my costume was dope. Actually, pretty good this year.
Your costume was dope. We both were interesting people. I was Baphomet.
And I was the Morrigan.
And you were the Morrigan.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Like, and my little one was a little baby Hecate. It was the cutest.
She's so
like,
cute.
She had a lantern. I didn't tell you this. So we were trick or treating, and her costume came with this plastic broom, and I did it up. Like I like put all kinds of stuff on it, and then at the last minute she went around and got one of these lanterns that I got. You know, like these little LED lanterns, and she hooked it on the end of her like broom because it had like a curve on it, like that could hold it. And the whole night she's out trick or treating with this little lantern. And every single person that saw it was like, oh my God, I love your lantern. Like everybody, like there's tons of witches, little kid witches everywhere, but like her costume, like just like a miniature version of mine, like kind of. And then also she had this lantern and everybody was like, and a couple people actually were like, oh my God, is she Hecate? And I was like, she is. Like, I was like, that's so great.
That's so cool.
It's so great. And I was just so thrilled that my little one wanted to be like dress up like me again. Like I was like, it's so cute.
That is so cute. I love it. She did such a great job.
She did. Like and that lantern was like just, I don't know how she kept it on that hook all night long, but like she did. She was so cute. It was adorable. I wish I had more pictures, but I do have some that are really cute. Check them out on my Facebook page. They're great. But yeah, like, do you guys have any other questions about this? We have like 10.
Yeah, so I was gonna say on spell casting though, definitely each element is representative of a different thing that you want, and everything's about intention. So make sure that everything that you choose to put on your altar or that you speak to, because you should be speaking to your objects and your candles and everything like they have a spirit. When you do that, you choose each piece with intention. And it means something on the altar. And also don't underestimate sacrifice.
Right. I mean, but be more, elaborate, Stephanie.
Okay. Sacrifice could be you just pouring out a whole bottle of liquor if like your deity likes liquor. Or it could be an offering of sacred tobacco if your deity likes that. It could be your own blood. It could be an animal's blood if you got it the right way, not, don't just like go.
No, don't do that. Yeah, we're not saying that.
If you can get it ethically, I personally have gotten some ethically from different animal plants after the animals are already deceased. But you can get like blood, dried blood or fat or whatever. And so I use that as a sacrifice.
Right.
But I also
sacrifices. I mean, is that an offering or a sacrifice?
It's both.
Okay.
Because so, like, gave its life.
Right. I mean, I usually give alcohol and tobacco because the deities I work with, that's what they like, I guess. But I think that's what that's what I. And how do you know what they like? You do research. That's how you know.
You do research.
You read books. You go look it online, and don't just take one source. Like you gotta like make sure that you're checking your sources, just like you did in school, to make sure you're vetting sources. It's the same thing. It's highly. I've come across some real trash on the internet about things, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit? Like, this is not accurate. And there's so many people that buy this stuff, buy into it without even second guessing it. So no matter what, always vet your sources. Get at least 2 or 3, 4. The more the merrier.
Absolutely. And it's nice to look up what other people's experiences are with these energies, with these deities, and see what people kind of say, because everyone's experience is going to be similar yet individual,
right?
And so you're going to surmise like, oh, okay, from this person to this person, there seems to be a theme here of what the deity likes. So like I should definitely offer them something that they like, because they're not going to pay attention if it's something that they don't care about.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing is like, yeah, I don't know how to say this nicely, but just because you ask doesn't mean you're going to get it. Like, you know,
Right.
you gotta, that's why the research is important, because like, I don't know if it was me, like if I was a deity, right? Which I'm not, but if I was, and I had like a handful of people asking for me at the same time, who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick the one that put in the work and put in the effort and like did their research, did their homework, right? I mean, hello, like that's just
The
common
one that
sense.
looks like they're going to carry it out to fruition, you know?
Yeah, like you're going to be serious, and you're serious about it. Like,
Right.
you can't just be hexing the moon and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, god damn, that was so annoying.
Madness.
Like that was, and it's so dumb, right? It's like it's so stupid, but it's frustrating because it gives it a bad, like it just makes us look dumb. It's all that does is makes us look like fools, and like it really is like when you walk this path, you better come correct. Like I'm serious, because a lot of us have been here and had to hide this shit for years and years. Some of us, a lot of us died for it. And like to be funny about it and to be like cheeky and like flippant is just really disrespectful. I feel like to everyone that has suffered at the murder, torture, whatever, for their beliefs, or even not, even just because someone accused them. But you know what I mean? Like it's like I just have a really bad taste in my mouth about people that think it's a joke and it's funny. And you'll find people like this in your life all the time too, that they make fun of it, but then when they have something that they need, where they come? Right here.
To you.
Mm-hmm.
To the witch.
And do you do it, Stephanie? Do you do that? Do you do that stuff? Will you do that if you have someone in your life that like, teases you about it and tells you how, like it's not real or it's stupid or whatever, and then they have an issue pop up and then they ask for your help? Do you do it or do you not?
I don't, only because you can't look down your nose at magic and then ask for favor.
Right. Yeah, I don't either.
And because there's also faith in works, and they talk about this in Christianity too. And like you have to have faith in your work.
And you respect it and like revere it. And if someone's talking shit about it constantly, and they come at you, you're compromising your morals at that point, and that is showing that you're not steadfast in your own beliefs.
Right. It makes it seem like you can be sold out.
Sell out, right? Yes, there you go. Yes, that's a thing. That is a thing. Like I turn away people all the time. I do. I turn away all the time. I don't do this to like, make millions of dollars at all. Like I, if it helps pay my bills, great. But I don't do it for the purpose of that. Like it's for helping people. And if you're gonna talk shit and then come at me, good luck, dude. Like find someone else, not me. Or if I think your intentions are wrong. There's been times where I've had a lot of, like I've had guys and girls do this where they want a love spell, and the stuff they're telling me makes it very clear that they're an abusive partner. Like very clear. Like that they're something very off, and I will not do that at all. Like I don't care how much money they offer me. Don't care.
Right, because it's integrity. It's integrity of our craft.
Yeah.
This is what we do. So like we can't just like say, oh, I'll take the money. Like no, we don't operate like that. And when you do, it's kind of a shitty energetic, like it's bad energetic hygiene to do that.
Yeah,
because you're mucking up the channels of your magic.
Right. Yeah. And you're like saying that again, your money is more important than the connection you have to the other side, to the ability to do these things. And like that's trashy. I'm just gonna say it. It's trashy. And like I'm not, I won't do it. So if I hear like, oh, I want them to, I mean, I've heard some crazy stuff. Like people message with crazy shit. Like trust. We get crazy requests.
Oh, yeah. Like, however, people come to us with crazy shit because I'm gonna say this. We have results, and our results happen very fast.
Yeah.
And my last client that I did a come to me spell for, results happened in 24 hours.
Yeah. Those do, like that, yeah, they do. Like when you do those, like they're pretty fast. And then it's funny, always funny when you get the call back or that email saying, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, but you actually paid for that and didn't think it was actually gonna work.
Yeah, it's like, why did you pay me if you didn't think it was gonna work? Like I always find that the funniest part of all of it is like This is not theater.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like, I mean, like people like to think that, and I get it, because it's like we're literally trained from birth to believe that all this is bullshit. We are literally told it's magical thinking and that it's fairy tale and that we're crazy. Okay. But like, but then when it does work, it's like, it's hard to kind of negate that training, that programming we've had our whole lives. Even sometimes it even happens to me where I'm like, I know it works, but like sometimes it's really just like, whoa, that was really fast and very specific. Because we're trained that way, because hello, that's to their benefit. Because if we don't think it's real, it won't work if we try to do it. If we doubt it while we're trying to do a spell, it will not. Oh, so if you have any doubts while you're casting a spell, if you think to yourself, is this going to work? It will not work.
It won't. You have to have every bit of it though working. And I can tell you that from experience, that you have to have your shit tight and right. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got your altar set up and everything. You got to make sure you've got every element that you're bringing and every piece that you're bringing intention with, and every piece that you've spoken to and handled over time, like all of that needs to be spot on, and that's how it makes it work.
Right. It's like the effort that you put in matters. The effort you put into your work matters. It's just like with school. The more effort you put into something to do a good job, the better the grade is typically, and like, so it's the same kind of thing. It's just, and that's what we do. Like, we make sure that we are focused, we know what we want, and we say the words that we need to say to get that. And then we also have some kind of price that we pay. That's the other thing, is you got to have a price.
Absolutely. I think that's the big one though, that people sometimes do not understand about people on our path, or which is that our spells work, right?
Yeah.
Is that you have to adopt the attitude and the acceptance that you don't care what happens as long as you're married to the outcome.
That is, yeah. So there's that. Like, yeah, like, because for instance, if you say, I want, like, you're in a job you hate, right? Like, and you want a better job, okay? Like, and I want this job, that job, the other thing. Well, okay, great. But do you understand that means that you're going to lose the current job you have, right? And like, that means that you're going to lose it. And that doesn't mean that you're quitting to go to the new job. That means that it could mean that. It absolutely also could mean that you get fired, or the building burns down or some shit. Who knows? Like, that you just don't have a job anymore. Now you're forced to go out and do like all of this legwork to find that job you did really want, because maybe you were being lazy before. That kind of shit. Like, because you didn't take into consideration that maybe you're part of the problem that's keeping you from your goal, right? Like, that can happen too. You have to really assess like where you are mentally, like what you're bringing to the table, like what your impact is before you're, that's important. Like, if you've seriously done every single thing in your possible, like, like, and it's literally not your fault, like it's literally nothing else you can do, that will be different than if it's something that I just rather do magic to get it faster. Like, then you better be ready for the shit that's going to hit the fan before you get that result, because it will.
Right. You have to say, okay, I want this outcome no matter what it takes. And that's the biggest one, is no matter what it takes, because with magic, you're not asking for a specific way to get it. You're just asking for it.
And that's the confusion. Right.
Right. And you're not even asking for it. You're saying, this is mine now.
Yeah, you're not asking. It is yours. Like, it is. I own it. It's mine. It's whatever. It's on its way to me. Whatever.
It's already mine.
Yeah. Like, that's the key. That's the key. That's why people aren't successful in magic, because they think that they're asking for it.
Right.
And it's not, you're telling.
Something's on its way to them. And then it's perpetually on its way to them.
Right. Yeah. So you have to declare that it is yours. This is it. This is what I want. Therefore it is mine. Like, it's being delusional. Quite literally, it is. It's being delusional to make the delusions become reality. It is. That's exactly what it is. So when they say we're crazy, they're a little right, I guess. But like, it's the ends justify the means most of the time, right?
Oh, it always does. I mean, it always does. Like, people who come into my closer circle are surprised when they see it happen and play out in real time.
Yeah. But it's shocking. Yeah. Yeah. Because we were told it doesn't exist. We were told it's not true. And only now, quantum physics and quantum theory that we're starting to see that, oh wait, we don't know everything. Oh my God, maybe there's some stuff we didn't know about. Like we can't see it, and therefore it doesn't mean it's not real. Yeah, like duh. But yeah. All right, so that's it. We hit the hour, and I gotta get going. So
All
nice
right.
yeah. So nice seeing everybody, or kind of.
Thank you everyone for
Yeah.
joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks or week after next, right? And if you want something, like for your pet psychic, is she coming next time? Is that when she's coming?
I'm hoping so. I hope we we'll have her on next time.
Yeah, we'll put an announcement out sooner. Like when we have guests, we're going to be putting announcements out like earlier in the week, so that way you guys can know.
We just kind of pop in.
Yeah, totally. So, let's see. I see a question here though. Someone important to me joins me on walks. Always sees several bees on our path that are dying. Interesting. That means something. He always stops and moves on the sidewalk. Is this a spiritual sign?
Yes, when bees die on your path, it's actually meant that they just protected you from a curse.
Oh, right. I did there's something like that. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that your friend is bad. What? I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. The bee sacrificed itself to protect you from the negative energy. That's what you need to know.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Okay?
Thank you, guys.